What it is? How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be doing another retro review. This time we're talking about Obsessed, the movie coming out of 2009, a thriller starring Idris Elba and Beyonce. We're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about touching other people's child. We're going to talk about going to hell, and if not there, at least the 4 seasons. We're going to talk about lying to your wife, even though you should have just told her the truth from the very beginning, all that good stuff. So if you want to hear what we have to say, sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. My name is Jonathan, and we are here with Jerome and Alex. How y'all doing today? How y'all feeling? How's things going? How are you? Jerome, how you doing?
Doing good, chilling, enjoying life and all those good stuff. Excited for 4th of July coming up. At the time of this recording, it has not happened yet, but it will be exciting.
I literally, as you started talking, I just heard a firework outside for the first time. I'm surprised it hasn't started earlier in the week, but
I mean, I'm working on the day, but still, it'll be nice to have just a dated, possibly going over to somebody's place. I actually have a friend I could probably hit up and be like, "Hey, bro, you barbecuing? Fix me a plate. I'll be over. let me get a plate of some ribs, maybe some chicken. And just wrap that up in some foil, and I'll come pick it up later." But of course, as I've been doing these past few weeks, adding media news, some stuff that I've been excited for, and stuff that people should be on the lookout for that I think is interesting to talk about. Firstly, Donald Glover's got a new movie coming out. We just got the first trailer for Bando Stone in the New World. It looks fun. It looks interesting. This idea of Donald Glover playing a singer in the post-apocalypse.
I saw that trailer during the BET Awards when he introduced it, and it didn't have I was like, I've never heard anything about this, and it didn't have like a date of when it was coming out. So I'm like, oh, I'm excited for this, but when do we get it?
Yeah, he's also letting the gray show this time around in this thing, which I like, which Donald Glover's not that old, but I always forget how old he actually is because he's just such a youthful person. He's got a baby face. The way he operates, he's just an active guy. So yeah, I always forget that he does have a little bit of gray in the beard. He is a father. He's a whole father out here.
He is? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
didn't know
so
that.
it's like he's an older guy. Like he's got a lot going on. But I mean, you still got plenty of life to live. I expect Donald Glover to be here for a long time. But it looks fun. It looks interesting. So I'm excited for that. We also got a trailer for this movie that I'm interested in just because it looks interesting with Hugh Grant called Heretic. It looks like a thriller, like a psychological thriller type thing in which these like two Jehovah Witnesses or, in some way, shape or form, like, door to door preachers or evangelists are who are young get taken into this man's house and put through a series of tortures. We don't get to see any of them in the movie, but that's the implication. And it looks interesting. I'm curious to see what it really is. It reminds me a lot of Barbarian, that it's like there's very little information on this outside of just the setup. So from the trailer, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And then also this is more new, like this is more like my personal thing, but got a trailer also for Batman the Caped Crusader. This is the new Batman animated series that kind of looks like it's taken some cues from the original Batman comics from the 40s and making a series out of that. And it looks great. It's got the guy who played the preacher in Midnight Mass as Batman, as the voice of Batman. And I'm excited about that. He sounds great from the trailer. But they've also got some new looks at, they're definitely doing a different style that harkens back to like the Batman animated series, but it kind of feels like its own thing at the same time. So it looks good. It looks really good. I'm excited for it. It's going to be on Amazon Prime and I vibe with it. So please, more Batman, more Batman animated TV shows. Because Batman on the animated space has always been good. Every Batman animated series I have loved. especially since the original Batman animated series back in the 90s. And so you can't convince me that this won't be at least somewhat interesting, if not good. So I'm excited for that. And then actually, you bring it up, Jonathan. That is the one thing I think that's been the most interesting thing to see this week is the reactions to the BET Awards. Because depending on who you ask, it was either hot trash or those are the only reactions I've seen. I have not seen anybody be like, that was the best BET Award. No, nobody is like this. They like the BET Awards. It's either, what was that? Or,
okay.
It was okay.
Me asking you guys, what did you guys think of the BET Awards?
I watched it live, like while it was there. I went to bed because why did they have a commercial break between the Usher performance and the Usher speech? That I don't know why. So I went to bed in between after the performance. So I didn't get to see his speech that apparently was muted the whole time. But love Usher, and I loved the Usher tribute, and the people who are saying, oh, why was it mostly women and blah blah blah? Why didn't we have Chris Brown? Like, if you gotta say that, then you already lost the argument. All right. The fact that people are, I think it shows kind of the like misogynistic element of it, and somewhat misogynoir, in that the fact that all these talented people got up on the stage to tribute Usher, and people are talented women at that, and Childish Gambino for some reason.
Yeah. What's funny is like I was like, don't get me like I don't know why, and it's like because I felt the same way about Lion King too, where I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love Childish Gambino. I think or Donald Glover / Childish Gambino. I think he's a very talented dude. He does have a great singing voice. I appreciate his like dedication to kind of being a very like adding a neo soul element with some modern elements to his singing. However, he is not on the same level as Usher or Beyonce or any of these other people they keep trying to pair him with, that I'm like, why y'all keep doing this to this man? His singing voice is good, but it's not like he can't sing, okay? He's not like that. And I know because his voice was auto-tuned to the wazoo for his performance for that Usher tribute.
It was. But
not that you did a bad job. I'm just saying, like
I appreciated the tribute. Were there some parts that were maybe a little rougher than others? Marsha Ambrosius.
See, you say Marsha Ambrosius. I say Lotto was the worst. Worst.
Well, hers was a little. I like Lotto, but
because at least Marsha tried to sing. Lotto didn't even do Usher's part. She did Ludacris's part. For yeah,
she was the feature.
Right, she did the feature. She did a feature of the feature. Hell, no one bothered to do the Usher's part for that song. All they did when it came to the Usher part, all they did was dance. Everyone came back on stage and was dancing.
But overall, I thought it was a fun tribute. Apparently Usher picked those people to be on stage and perform.
Did he?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the tribute that much, but I do see what people are saying though. And the reason I feel that way is because of two reasons. Number one, like you said, they were like, cause like, for example, like Summer Walker, I love her voice and she does a great job singing though, but this is a tribute to honor a man that sings, dances, does the choreography, takes off his stuff. Like Keke Palmer was the perfect person to pick to do the tribute. And it's why her part, I would argue between her, for me, the two tied people who did the best job easily, Chloe Bailey and Keke Palmer. Those two dominated. They ate that stage up.
I also will throw in Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet.
Tiana Taylor's a close second. I will say, like, for me, Chloe and Keke are tied.
When they did that backflip, when they yeah.
And then like I loved Tiana Taylor and Victoria. It's just her singing, I've never been like like in love with Tiana Taylor's voice that much, but she is an amazing dancer. And then the Victoria Monet, Tiana Taylor, like the fact that they were partnered together, like Beyonce and Usher. Tiana Taylor's playing Usher, Victoria Monet's playing Beyonce, like doing that a nod to that. Amazing. That's a great idea.
I'll also throw in Coco Jones in there because Coco Jones is my girl.
See, Coco Jones is where I'm debated because Coco Jones, like singing wise, amazing. She did her thing singing that song. There Goes My Baby. I love her version of it. I want her to release it as like a single. But performance wise, all she did was walk down the damn aisle trying to break up people's relationships, and grabbing different various men across from the significant others they came to the BET Awards with, and then give Usher's Girl a lap dance and then get on stage. That's it. That's all she did, and sang the song the whole time. At least Summer Walker had dancers. Coco Jones didn't have none of that. But she did do a great job singing, so I'll give her credit for that. Her singing was really good. So it's like that's where I'm like, that is an issue for me. And then on top of that, I do see what you mean of it is a little misogynistic that a lot of people immediately were like, or at least it can seem that way, that a lot of people are giving these ladies a lot of shit and being like, we're all the male R&B stars. But I will argue that the BET Awards as of late has given that stage has been dominated by female R&B stars for the past like 5 or 6 years. Very few men get up there, and especially very few men that are male R&B stars. Most of the time it's rappers. So this was the one this was like a prime opportunity for, and not even like current male R&B stars. Like, I mean, you could for sure, because they're out there. But if you wanted to even go back and do a tribute to like give men who don't get a chance to be on that stage anymore because they're not doing anything anymore, or they're just like, they're doing other things, whatever. This was their chance to maybe shine and honor another man who is also an R&B legend. Tyrese was there. He was in the damn crowd. He could have went up there. Omarion could have gone up there. Jason Derulo could have gone up there. You know what I'm saying?
Like Duran Bird, who's really a really good artist, and Sir. I think
Sir could have gone
Sir,
up there.
or Lucky Day.
Mm-hmm. So it's a thing where it's like, because here's the thing. Ice Spice has been at the BET Awards now for like the past like 2-3 years. Same thing with like, I'm sure like Summer Walker's been up there a lot of times. I'm sure Coco Jones has been up there a lot of times because they're popular right now. But the fact of the matter is that you're doing a tribute to a man who's an R&B legend for a lot of male R&B stars and inspired a lot of male R&B stars currently, and it's still inspiring a lot of male R&B stars today. This was the chance to highlight some of those people, and instead you gave us the same people that we've seen. No shade to Victoria Monet, but again, she's another one. She's been at the BET Awards now performing for multiple years in the most recent years. So I do see their point.
I think this was her first time performing at the BET Awards.
Was it? Well, she got 2 performances tonight anyway. So either way, my point still stands. The point is that it's like, this was their chance to really like maybe put a spotlight on a group of people that are often kind of forgotten about as of late. Because like, outside the people who are in the R&B space, no one really talks about a lot of the male R&B stars, especially the up and coming male R&B stars out right now, the same way they do the women. Mainly because a lot of them aren't doing a lot of the same stuff that used to be done. Now, I will say that's their fault. You know what I'm saying? The days of the abs busting out the shirt and dancing in the rain or in like a fountain or something with the water kicking up, those days are over for a lot of male R&B stars. You know what I'm saying? I like Daniel Caesar can sing his ass off, but he don't dance worth shit. Okay, he just be standing up there singing his jams. The Weeknd, for as big as he is as an R&B/pop singer, never dances. He don't move from that spot except to just do some like creative stuff, but he don't bust a move or nothing. So it's like, I will give a little bit of like leeway, but I'm just saying, I get their point. I see where they're coming from. in that way.
I'll say a couple standouts from the night. So this isn't a BET Awards review episode, but
if it becomes that way, I gotta hop off then.
We're talking about Black movie, that probably features on BET a lot, so it kind of fits.
Meg Thee Stallion, she did great. Tyler, she did great as well.
Yeah, congrats to her for getting the award. New artist.
And shout out to Carmen Domingo. His style, he was just styling when he presented that award to her. And yeah, those are the main standouts for me. I don't even want to say it. No.
What were we gonna say? Like, what did you have? Like, because I was gonna say one of the things I think is like another thing people are talking about that's also a controversy right now for the BET Awards is they did, of course, as they always do, their honoring of Black people who have passed away in the previous year and leading up to, because also some in 2024 as well, but leading up to the BET Awards, and they took upon themselves to include one Owenthal James Simpson in that list of, of people to honor. And I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, because on one hand, I mean, the dude did do a lot for Black culture. No, I'm saying,
yeah,
like,
but in
it's
a
not
negative
like
and
before
positive
the trial,
way.
he was just a nobody. Okay, he was the juice back then. But at the same time, it's like, but I don't know. I feel like, no disrespect to the Simpson family or whatever, but maybe the BET Awards is not the place to put this man on that same pedestal as people like Bill Cobbs. You know what I'm saying? And like, and all these other people that passed away last year who were good from top to bottom of their entirety of their Black life. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that's not for me to judge. I'm just saying that's just where my headspace was at with it.
Tanner Adele was another one. New country star, and Shabuzi. Brand new like country Black country stars that are on the come up.
I will say this though, and this also applies to the Usher tribute, but also just in general. I am going to need, though, for real, can we please go back to the days of having more, like, at least more choreographers involved in, because if y'all gonna have this many female, I will say that was the other thing I think people had an issue with all the female artists as a part of the Usher tribute. All of y'all got the same damn dance moves. Keke Palmer was the only one Keke Palmer and Tiana Taylor were busting out different types of moves. Tiana especially, because it's like they were doing a whole tribute thing in full. But Keke was doing a like homage to an old Usher routine, and then Chloe was doing her thing, but Chloe like she just has like such a fierce thing. But Tinashe, Summer Walker, who else? Goddamn.
I'm surprised Tinashe didn't dance more, because I love her performance style.
Like, if I see, like, as I was watching tribute, I was like, if another one of y'all twerks on this damn stage, I'm gonna lose my damn mind. Because it's cute and sexy when one person does it. There's 5 of y'all. Every single one of y'all gonna shake your ass, or somebody, at least if you're gonna do it different. Give me something new. It feels like, and so what I need is some choreographers out there to make some new dance moves, or at least get creative. If you gonna have them twerk, find a new way to do it. Make them make a pyramid of twerking or something. You know what I mean? Like cheerleader style, or have one girl on one side hold up a girl, and like have a female bodybuilder come up Hercules style and pick them up by the hands. They twerking in midair. Find new ways to innovate the twerk, please.
This is going. This is going off the rails already.
I'm just saying, as a man who appreciates great choreo and grew up through an era of nothing but phenomenal women who could do great choreo. You know what I mean? The days of the Beyonce days. Well, still Beyonce now, but back in the day when she was just starting, she was lighting up stages with choreo.
Well, I was going to be like Missy Elliott.
Missy
if
Elliott.
anything,
A lot
her
of people put
choreography,
Sierra's name in the ring of like, if you were gonna get female artists, they should have got Sierra. Which I'm like, Sierra's on tour right now, so that's why they probably couldn't get Sierra. She's coming to Seattle in like a few weeks here, so she wasn't available. But Sierra too, dominating that like the stage with her dance moves and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up through that era, and so now it's like to see so many, and not that there aren't still women who don't do it, but it's just like, I watched that whole damn performance, and half of y'all did the same moves 8 times in the same performance. So I'm just saying, some new dance moves would be nice. So that's the BET Awards in a nutshell. Other than that, I'm doing good. Like, I'm chilling. Enjoying my TV shows. The Boys still good. House of Dragon still good. Star Wars Acolyte, it's all right. The ladies are enjoying it right now because they get to see Manny Jacinto shirtless. He's out here looking all sexified and whatnot. So, you know, the ladies got eye candy to look at in Star Wars finally. So
I don't know who that is.
So there you go.
He's the
Yeah,
guy
I'll look
from
up a
The Good
picture.
Place.
I'll look up a picture while you give your week in review.
The Filipino guy from The Good Place.
There you go. I love The Good Place. That was such a good show. Oh yeah, because I love that show so much. I was watching it every time a new episode came out. I was on it.
Alex, how's your week been? Or a week and a half since we last met.
I was like trying to think, what did I do? Well, Pride officially came and went, which was sad. I did a little bit of Pride stuff. I went to a pool party, which was really fun. Apparently, you can rent out a pool, just like the pool. It's called Swimming or Swimlify or something like that. It's like an Airbnb. You just rent the pool area. The guy's
I've heard.
God, Jonathan's dying.
Okay,
sorry.
That cough came from your soul.
I've heard of that. Where you can just rent out the pool versus like renting out the whole house.
Yeah, it was really cool. The guy had a setup where there was a bathroom outside, a little shower. He had everything set up. It was great. So I went swimming for the first time in a long time. It felt really nice. And then I did go to Capitol Hill, which is in Seattle, and did some walkthrough with the Pride. However, that was a lot of walking. So when my sister and her wife were still looking around some of the Pride stuff, I'm like, I'm going to go sit down for a little bit. I found like a little hill and just like ended up like laying flat, like with my arms out, my cane next to me, just looked like I plopped. And a couple people were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just good." And somebody else came up and they're like, "I feel that, girl. I feel it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done. Just let me be." I had a weird experience. I went with Lauren to the Sounders and Chicago Fire game. We got really good seats. Where I found the seats really good. However, we were behind the people waving the fans waving the flags and the chants. That was so weird. It was a weird experience. It made the whole game weird because these people were
like
constantly
good weird or bad?
No, bad,
weird?
bad.
Oh, okay.
It's creepy when there's a group of people just chanting constantly. All right, bad history with that. And
I remember when we went to the
too.
Sounders game and people were chanting, and we were like, I certainly didn't know the chants.
There was ancestral nervous.
Ari Spears joke. He's just like, it's like, listen, like white people, you need to know that we as black people, we get scared when y'all get a little too drunk because y'all make that sound that we don't like, that we all too familiar with. Y'all just woo! It's just like, oh, where they at?
See, the woo is fine, but it's the repeating where it's like the ancestors are speaking to me being like, you need to leave. But so we were behind those people. The thing was, their songs and things, they weren't hyping up during the energy to the game, right? Chicago got a goal, right? And they were still chanting, Sounders, you're number one. And it's like, they just lost a point. The only reason the Sounders won was because they got 2 penalty kicks. And so they got 2 goals. And it was like, okay, you're saying number one, but you got 2 penalty kicks. That's how you won. That's the only reason you won. But it was just like, the Chicago Fire had the ball most of the game. And it's just, you got all these people chanting. And you weren't helping. You were just making the energy around the game weird. And I've never sat it behind them. But it's like, also, soccer usually has a commentary, a guy talking, explaining things. These people were just chanting. It didn't make the game fun. It made it awkward. I miss when soccer was just, as Lauren put it, was just like, not a niche, sport, but more of a hello cheddar. More of just like a sport to have fun with. It was like don't choke. Come on, we're gonna get banned from YouTube. It was just a more than a spectator sport. It was just a sport you watch and it was fun to watch. So that was a weird moment I had. Other than that, my week's been pretty chill. The game was fun. Well, it was more fun because I got to hang out, of course, with Lauren, who's one of my closest friends. And then I got to hang out at Pride and the pool party with my sister and her wife, and I love just being around with them. And with 4th of July coming up, I'm trying to drag Jerome to a movie. Hopefully, by next podcast, we went to the movie because he said there's a cherry limeade slushy and I want it. So we're going to see a movie this weekend, no matter what. Hopefully in our podcast I have it. Or if it's not there, this podcast may end. I don't like being
It's canceled.
It's canceled. It's done. I will die on any hill. But how you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing good. On Friday, went and saw A Quiet Place Day 1. Oh, did you? Oh, nice. I thought it was all right. I wasn't like blown away. I thought it was like, okay, yeah, this is another Quiet Place movie. I don't think it really added a lot to the whole story of the Quiet Place, but
That's
it
how I
was
felt
just like,
too. Where I was like,
yeah,
I don't know why this movie exists, but I don't hate that it exists. I'm just like, why
right.
did we need to make a new Quiet Place movie if it had
It's
nothing to do with our former characters in any
yeah,
way,
and
shape, or form?
it's not like you get. I thought I was gonna get like backstory, but I
Right, or
didn't really
some new
get that.
information.
Right. It was just like another perspective of A Quiet Place on the day that it happens.
In
Um
fact, there's a Quiet Place video game coming out soon called A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. This feels like this is what the video game should have been. Like a separate story that you could play out with a unique character in the same world but new aspects, and it would have been
mm,
like fine. The game is also a different character. It's not like you're playing as the characters from the first two movies. But I'm like, might as well be the same thing. I don't know.
but I enjoyed it. Lupita is always great. So yeah, she did a great job.
Don't they say that Joseph Quinn and Lupita are dating, or is that a rumor?
I think she's dating another white guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But they had like good chemistry, and I think they've been like friendly and stuff in their press and stuff. So I think that's
No, she's dating
what
a black man.
I thought she was dating that guy who used to date Jodie Turner Smith.
Oh, sorry, looking at ex-boyfriend. My bad. She's dating Joshua Jackson.
Oh,
yeah, okay, that's his name. Yeah.
Ooh, just
Yeah.
2 months
I mean-
after his estranged wife, actress Jodie Turner Smith, filed for divorce.
okay.
Oh, just 2 months. Ooh, dang.
Gossip.
Well, listen, Joseph Quinn is like, he's on top of the world right now because between this and he's going to be in the new Fantastic Four next year as Johnny Storm. So,
Oh yeah.
and was Eddie in Stranger Things, and I am sure because of how much they love that character, there's going to be Eddie flashbacks or Eddie hallucinations in the next Stranger Things. So I'm sure he's going to be in Stranger Things season 5 too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was Quiet Place Day 1, and then on Wednesday, I got to see someone live in concert who we've talked about in our BET Awards podcast segment, and that was Coco Jones. Coco Jones, she played at this venue called Academy LA. And first of all, this venue is really cool. It's like a nightclub style, but it's like a long room, and they have screens everywhere, LED screens. And for this event, it was free, but you just had to RSVP. Like I had to RSVP like a month in advance, and they had like photo ops. They had karaoke. They gave you a free drink ticket. They were handing out free T-shirts. And she killed it. I cannot wait to see what she does. She said her album's coming out this fall and she's going on tour. Can't wait to see what she does. I'll be listening to the album. It'll probably be on repeat. And yeah, she had great stage presence too, like her vocal ability with her stage presence, because she was dancing. Now, Jerome, you were mad that she didn't have backup dancers at the BET Awards, but she had backup dancers at this performance.
At her own
And
concert.
At her concert. And
The way you said at her concert.
The saying, you couldn't ask them to maybe come volunteer real quick at the Usher tribute. I didn't even have backup there. At least you couldn't bust a move on your own time. Now I know you can dance. Then again, she did wear some high platform shoes. Probably wouldn't have been easy.
Yeah.
Safety.
But she did a great job, and that was definitely the highlight of the week for me. Seeing her perform, it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
You know what else is fun?
Wait, hold on. Before we get into the movie, one last thing. This is for you, Alex.
That was a good segue.
We were talking about. I was telling y'all about the eye candy for Star Wars. Let me give you just the perspective real quick.
Oh my gosh!
Right? First time we saw this man, this is the outfit we get, and we were just like, who is, like, anybody who didn't know who he was? It was like, who is this nerdy ass looking dude, covered head to toe? He's got these goggles on. He doesn't keep them on the whole time, but still, it's like, you looking all goofy and stuff. Then they were like, okay, listen, we hear you, but we want you to know that this man is serious too. So we later find out in the reveal, he's actually dark side, but all anybody could talk about outside of him being evil.
You're spoiling.
No one gives a damn about the acolyte.
Wow.
No, all we care about is these arms. Look at these things, these pythons he's got going on. All right. Out here took Amanda Stenberg to the gun show. That's why he's trying to help her breathe right now, because she can't handle it. All right. And then he took care of her, and all the women out there were like, ooh, I want them arms to put a blanket on me like that.
How did they have so many screenshots from?
And then, but he was there. But Star was like, don't worry, ladies, we got you, because you've seen his sensitive side, but now you need to see his sexy side. So of course we're gonna give you some of this man meat right here, watching him walk out of that water like a damn perfume commercial.
Why was I just about to say this looks like a perfume ad?
Look out here, he's selling something from Giovanni or something.
I will say he does not look like the same man from The Good Place.
So that was from the most recent episode. So all the ladies right now are all about, man, he just said from the acolytes.
Hey, don't forget the gay men.
And the gay men, I'm sure they're feeling it too. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Star Wars doesn't have many sexy moments. The most sexiest moment it's been since now was when Leia was in that slave Leia costume in episode 6, when that was back in the 80s. So it's been a minute.
A lot of people found the Pedro Pascal taking off his helmet sexy.
I guess that's true.
Or
I don't know.
Or when Adam Driver
oh yeah, when he was shirtless at one
showing
point.
off his wide ass body. I don't know why he looks so wide in that frame.
Anyway. He does.
But yeah, so just wanted to give you my experience
that's why
watching the
actors
Acolyte
always have
as
an
of
angle,
late.
though.
You know what I'm saying? Because Amanda Stenberg was like, no, I'm going to stay fully clothed. But Manny can take some stuff off. You know what I'm saying? He can show some skin.
And he ran with that. And I respect that.
I didn't even show you the best, because listen, like that's as much as we see in the show, but the implication, because when he gets in that water, he gets butt ass naked. So all the ladies were like, oh, okay, hold on, wait a minute. It's getting a little, I'm feeling a little hot, getting the vapors.
Getting the vape.
Speaking of women that are feeling a little lightheaded around sexy men, obsessed.
That is one way to put it, yes.
This is a movie coming out of 2009, starring one Idris Elba,
42
one
minutes in.
Ali Larter, and one Beyonce Knowles. You all right? You okay?
I was trying to yawn, and Jonathan said we're 42 minutes in.
Yes, we're 42 minutes in. Listen, we had a lot of good content in there, right? There's a lot of podcast goodness in that 42 minutes, okay?
If you watch our Talk About It episode, I said I wish we could do the We Can Be Done Quickly because I'm hot in my apartment. I don't think that's going to be true. I think it is what it is, and I'm just going to be sweating.
Listen, the movie is directed by Steve Schill. It's written by David Lowery, or Laurie, or however you pronounce his last name. I apologize if I mispronounced it. And like I said, stars Beyonce, Idris Elba, Ali Larter, Jerry O'Connell, Christine Lottie, and many others. This is our retro review. So for those who have not seen one of our retro reviews, we're just going to dive on in. We're going to talk spoilers galore. And we're going to just jump into the movie.
You forgot one of the credits. It is executive produced by Magic Johnson as well.
Oh, well, we don't normally do the executive producers, but yeah, sure.
Well, it's interesting that it's Magic Johnson. Uh-huh. Did he produce a lot of stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of different producers for different things. I mean, like, listen, Steph Curry is responsible for giving us that Good Times reboot as his executive producer. So that came out this year. So, you know,
is it more of a blame than anything? Because I watched that. That was every stereotype ever wrapped into like just the 30-minute part right there was just every stereotype you've ever seen.
I haven't even watched it. I might just to say I've watched it so I can put it in my disappointments list of 2024.
They just use the name at the end of the year. They just use the name Good Time to like trap you.
But yeah, so you know, audience, if you haven't seen Obsessed, we're just gonna jump on in, spoilers galore. But if you have, enjoy our discussion. We might even talk about some behind the scenes stuff and other things like that, as we often do. So to start this review off, I gotta ask both of y'all, and I'm curious to get your opinions on this. Do we feel like this is Derek's fault, or that Lisa's just crazy?
Both. I think why. First of all, I'll get on Derek. So why was he so secretive with his wife in the beginning? Yes, he walked in and was going to tell her, you know, this woman has been, I'm assuming he was going to tell her about everything that had happened so far. And then she said her sister had to be talked off a ledge because she just found out that her husband was cheating. So he was like, oh, it wasn't the right moment. You couldn't say something the next morning. You couldn't say something the next day, the next even 2 days.
Listen,
this movie takes place over.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
This movie takes place over the course of like months because they're leading up to Christmas, and then it's after Christmas into New Year's, and then like 3 months later or something like that. So he had ample time to tell her about this situation.
It's true.
Yes. And then for Lisa's behind, she was just out of her mind. Like she was just on a mission to get this married man and break up a happy home. And now that's all I can say about that.
For context, for those who have not seen Obsessed and you're listening to this podcast, the movie is about this man by the name of Derek, who's an executive at a law firm.
Idris Elba.
Is it a law firm or is it like a stock?
Finance.
Place?
It's a finance company.
Finance company.
Just finance.
He's an executive at a finance company, a very successful finance company, and a very successful man. He's good at what he does. And a new temp worker, the name of Lisa, temp secretary, I think, but maybe just temp in general. She can do a little of everything, but she mainly does secretary work, or is a receptionist. Comes to the company on a day, and Derek, in an effort, like, because he's just a friendly guy, he's very, like, you know, cool with all of his coworkers. He's not rude. He's nice to Lisa as well when she comes there. But little does he know,
a little bit too flirty.
Well, like, here's the thing. Derek does have a very flirtatious personality. You know, he flirts with almost everybody, especially the women in his office. So much so that he even married one of them, who is his current wife, Sharon, played by Beyonce Knowles. And he is now excited because, and speaking of his wife, they are moving into a new home with their 2-year-old son, Kyle, and they're happily married, in love. They've got their son. Everything's great. But little does he know that Lisa, she want herself a little piece of that chocolate. You know what I'm saying? She got some jungle fever. You know, she's been swimming in the Willy Wonka chocolate river a few too many times because she wants a piece of that, and she is not taking no for an answer.
We gonna get canceled.
So
that Willy Wonka thing didn't go the way you think it went.
No, it didn't. But I'm just saying. You know what I mean? She sees him and she's like, "You out here looking like a whole snack, and I need a piece." And and she refuses to take no for an answer because not only is she tripping, she crazy. And regardless of the fact that Derek, to his credit, rejects her advances at every moment he possibly can, unfortunately, his friendliness has put a delusion in her mind that they are meant to be together and Derek wants them to be together. And so she proceeds to make his life a living hell. And Derek, not wanting to be, I guess, embarrassed, doesn't tell anybody about this, including his wife, until it is far too late. But luckily, things transpire in a way that works out best for their marriage. We'll talk about that later in the review. But just to give you some setup on where we are and why the question as we started the review. Now, I will say this, though. I do know why he doesn't tell his wife, because I thought the same thing, and I do agree. He should have told her something over these damn months that like all this happened. But I do understand why, and it's mainly because I was thinking as I was watching the movie, especially when we do these retro reviews, I like to take into account what year and time period these movies are taking place and when they come out. In 2009, if you're a man, even if it's your wife, if it's anybody, and you come to somebody and tell them a beautiful, like, woman that anybody would want on their arm is harassing you and giving you a hard time, and it's like, she's just throwing herself at me and I don't want her, and she knows I'm married, whatever. Most people, if they don't just not believe you in general and just think, man, you just tripping, or you coming on to her, or whatever, they're like, most people are just like, man, if you don't man your ass up and tell that girl leave you alone, if you don't grow some damn nuts, and like, or if you don't just smash, you acting like that's a problem. She a beautiful woman throwing herself at you. There are a lot of men that wish they had the opportunity. Like 2009, that's the time period we're in, where even if he went to HR, they will do a full investigation to make sure he's even telling the truth, let alone just believe him outright during 2009. Because men, during that time, men being sexually harassed was like a rare consideration in that time period, especially by women. Like, it was a time period, and it's still kind of a time period now where, you know, men being raped in jail was a joke, just a laughing matter. Because the idea is, you a man, you should be able to handle yourself. You should be able to fight back. So I do understand a little bit of the hesitation. Because it's like, especially Derek being Derek, I'm sure his wife, the first thing she would have thought is, oh, so you probably, like what did you say though, Derek? I didn't say anything. Well, anything that was like, that would make her think I want to get with her. I may have been friendly. I may have tried to cheer her up when she said she broke up with her boyfriend. That's it. At no point have I, like, the only thing he said that I was like, that's a little bit of a nailing in a coffin for you, is when he was like, if I was single, I would date you. Listen, if you married, don't ever say that to anybody, especially a beautiful woman. Because listen, I refuse
even if
to
you're
believe,
not married, even if you're in a relationship,
if you're in a relationship in general. But I'm just saying, like, I refuse to believe that Derek, a person who's probably gotten a lot of women in his lifetime, there's no way he didn't see the look she was giving him and know that she was feeling him. You know what I'm saying? Like, in some way, shape, or form.
Another reason I think it's Derek's fault is because after you repeatedly rejected somebody, right? But you still acting friendly and you got to keep rejecting them. Clearly, you need to stop being so friendly. All right? Because he's still trying to be like, oh, yeah, I'm the nice guy. No, dude. She's clearly not getting it. You're not getting it. And you're still behaving in the same way that allows her to think in her crazy mind, well, he still treats me nice. No,
Well,
after the second no, that's when you turn into a dick or, an asshole and be like, all right, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Well, to be fair, he only starts rejecting her after the Christmas party. And after the Christmas party, she just goes full blown crazy.
That's
like
true.
immediately. It's not like that happens because at the Christmas party, she straight up just tries to rape this man at the Christmas party. And then after the Christmas party, she like the next time they try to do like she tries to play it off or whatever. She doesn't even acknowledge it. And he's trying to avoid her entirely. And then she gets in his car and just like flashes him with like a whole trench coat flash situation. True. And then, so it's like, it's not like it doesn't like, it escalates at the Christmas party and then she tones it down and is trying to be like, maybe we can catch dinner sometime or whatever. No, she just keeps escalating.
Well, that's what crazy does. Of course she's going to keep escalating. There wouldn't be a movie if suddenly she went back to normal. The escalation has to happen for the story to progress.
And I forgot to mention this in my my moments of this week, but Love Island is really hitting this season, and I feel like it's reached the level almost of UK where it's just such a sensation. Everybody's talking about it right now. But to relate that to this movie, there are situations in Love Island when a bombshell comes in and tries to break up a couple and and that person, because sometimes there are recouplings where, you know, the bombshell will be like, all right, I want to couple up with you, and then they automatically become a couple because that's how like the show works. And then the other person who is now alone because their partner coupled up with the other person is like, okay, well, why did this person think they could get with you? You must have said something. And the person who got coupled up with by the bombshell is like, I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. I didn't say anything, but this situation literally happened on the current season of Love Island. So that it relates. It relates to real life and reality TV as well.
Yeah.
But I do like, but you know, all that being said, you know, despite the time period and everything when this takes place, I still feel like he should, like, here's the thing. The Christmas party, okay, I will grant you, sure, you might have felt a little embarrassed, but everything seemed to be pretty cool. The second this woman drugged you at this, even if you know, like some of your memory is still like correct that you're like, oh yeah, I did make it to my room that night or whatever. You still can't remember if you went to sleep, how you got there, all that stuff. The second she drugged you, and first of all, the fact that the second she followed you to this retreat,
yeah,
and then drugged you on top of that,
should have been the police,
posed as your wife and whatever to get you out of a meeting and all, I would have called my wife. I wouldn't even gone back to the meeting. They would have been like, damn, where'd Derek go? I'm calling my wife right now because this is only going to get worse for me. This woman's not going away. I need to call my wife. I need to tell her what's going on right there because now she's a criminal.
No, I would have done that after the flashing. Be like, because somebody could have seen you in the car, her getting in, you getting out, like
That's
shit
true.
like that.
Right.
Be like, babe, let me explain because this is not gonna look great, but like, let me explain. And so when the escalation happened, it would have made more sense instead of it sounding almost like, oh yeah, she was in my hotel room, but I don't remember what happened. What does that mean?
He was.
That's true.
He was definitely afraid of the repercussions because at first it was like, oh yeah, she's doing too much, but you know, oh, she left the company. Okay, yeah, whatever. Now my problems are gone. And then when she actually wouldn't leave, you know, his life, he was like, uh-oh, I don't think I could tell my wife about this because then she's gonna think that we were, you know, something was actually happening. Yeah, and now I just want to get rid of her. But it got to the point where this woman is literally committing to which do we think she actually like tried to off herself? Was it another situation and she like was doing some fakery type stuff just to get his attention?
I think it's a mix of the two because I think she was like Because she did take the pills. It's not like she took fake pills and he
Right.
thought she
He
was
was
knocked
actually
out.
in
Like,
the hospital.
no, she actually
Yeah.
was going to die. So I think it's that she was willing to kill herself, but in her mind, if he loves me, he'll save me, and then I'll know he loves me. Like, so it's
Yeah.
like I think it's a mix of the two. Like, if he did save her, in her mind, he does love me. If he didn't save her, well, then I can't live in a world without him, so I'll die anyway. Like, I'll gladly just die. So it's like a win-win, unfortunately, with her messed up mind in that scenario. I will say, though, after seeing how Sharon reacts afterwards, I do understand why he didn't tell her. Because when he walks in that living room and she calls her on the phone, talk about, he's like, listen, I'll show you crazy. And then it's like, and then she turns around, starts walking to him. I feel like if that was me, I'd be like, I love you. And then she just walks, like, I'd be scared that she coming for me next. Because I'm like, in my head, I'd be like, no, listen, I've seen my wife when the demons cut loose. You don't want these problems, Lisa, okay? I don't want these problems. I've lived a nice life. I want to continue living it. No, thank you.
I see. It's funny though. I found a lot of Beyonce's lines or Sharon's lines funny more than threatening.
Because Beyonce's not good at delivering that.
Yeah, she's not.
I thought that was the charm of it. Because I thought that was because people still quote some of the. I know I still quote. You came into my house. You touched my child. I still quote that to this day. And then there's the Four Seasons line. That I
Four
thought that
Seasons
was
line is still
brilliant.
really good. I love that
I-
line. I
Yeah.
do. Like, she delivers that one pretty well. It's because Beyonce doesn't have anything to say like for most of the movie except exposition or
I can see
one-liners. Like, she's an action star.
Yeah, it's a bunch of, especially during that fight scene. Near the it was just a bunch of one-liners, but also when she just says those like points where she's like, "Go to hell," it was just like it doesn't feel threatening. That's kind of comical. Or she was in our house. Like I feel like you just said that so weirdly, and sometimes like an accent comes out of nowhere.
I mean,
Like,
she is from
that's-
Texas.
Well,
She is, but it's not fit to her that character. So she just got a random. It almost seems like the character got a random accent all of a sudden.
if we're talking about accents, there were some points where Idris Elba. When
Yo,
I remember,
for real, yeah. Especially when he's yelling, you could hear that
Yeah,
accent slip out.
you could hear, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There were some points where it sounded like he was like from Brooklyn, and then there were some points where you could hear the UK accent, and then there were some points when he was talking like this. It was a little all over the place at sometimes, and I remember what I feel like when I first watched this movie back, like when it came out, close to the time when it came out, I felt like I was like, dang, I didn't realize he was British. He's really American. But now watching this movie now, I'm like, wow, you can
Yeah,
really
you're
tell
British.
at some point.
British.
Yes.
Which I don't know why they just didn't make him British.
I
Yeah,
guess
they
they
could've.
wanted him to be American, for like, or maybe the role was going to go to an American actor, but then they picked up Idris Elba instead. I don't know.
This movie also, when I saw Idris Elba, reminded me so much of when I saw Jason Momoa. You know how like 20 years ago they look so different? Because I was like, he is so much thinner or more lean than he is now. He is very muscular now, and back then he was very lean. It was the same effect when I saw Jason Momoa back then. I was like, wow, you look weirdly tiny, but you're not a tiny man. If I had met Idris Elba 20 years ago, I'm like, he's still probably like so much taller than me, bigger, and like everything. But I'm like, in the frame compared to what I'm now used to seeing, he's like so much, he appears so much smaller, and it was such a weird thing to see. It's interesting to see male actors 20 years back because a lot of them are leaner compared to what they are now.
Oh yeah, you look at
And
Hugh
it-
Jackman in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
X-Men movie. Like, he was way more lean than he is like in the current X-Men movies, where he's like jacked. He's like super cut.
Yeah, it's kind of, it throws you off from the movie because for a second you're like, oh, that's right, that's what you look like. You're watching old movies. Another thing I loved about this movie was seeing the old tech, because
Oh, shit.
you forget the different style of phones back then was so versatile. You had so many options. And it was just like those old computers, everything like that, and like people still wrote handwritten notes. It was crazy.
I I also liked the music as well.
Music was
Not
cool. But it
Yeah.
took you
yeah,
back to a time period for sure. When they started playing
exactly.
Estelle's like American Boy, I was
American
like,
Boy
oh shoot, I forgot about that song.
or Jill Scott's "Living My Life Like It's Golden."
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
definitely.
first time I heard that's one of my favorite songs ever is Sam Smith's "Black and Gold," and that song plays in this movie. And I think that was the first time I heard that song in this movie as
Mhm.
well.
I will say this though.
Not Sam
I
Smith. Did I say Sam Smith?
You
Yeah.
said Sam Smith, yeah.
Sam Sparrow, I think is the
Oh.
artist. Yeah.
I will say this though. I don't know what he expected. Because here's the thing. I think all of this could have been avoided if he didn't take his ass to that Christmas party. Because as a man in a relationship, or in a in a former relationship, formerly in a relationship, I can tell you this: if there's no reason for you to be there, and they don't allow spouses, you don't need to go.
Well,
Which
yeah,
that
no, it's networking. It's financing. You have to network. Unfortunately, there are
Network to
companies like
who?
that.
Everyone there is only the people that work at the company. He knows all of them.
Yeah, but meeting other executives in different departments.
He'll survive. He has some of the biggest accounts possible. He don't need to network that much. So at the very least, not on that night in the horniest company ever.
and that reason there is no reason that I wish they would have explained a better reason why plus ones weren't invited, because I'll tell you at my where I work, we have a holiday party and we usually don't invite plus ones just for budget reasons. But if you're working for a finance company, there's no budget, there's
Well,
you have
yeah,
enough budget to invite plus ones.
they give
So
the
the
reason of like,
reason,
well, they assume that you won't have fun if your significant other's there. I'm like,
right?
oh, what is that supposed to be? So what? So you're saying your company encourages cheating? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, they wanted to go Wolf of Wall Street style. Maybe there was
Right, what are y'all
cocaine
doing?
involved.
Inviting the whole all of the prostitute row over there? Is this a red light district's hot like is this when they go from in the red to in the black when they come to y'all's party or something? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Tyler Perry's Divorce of the Black coming soon.
It's just
For a little split second, I thought you were making that up, and then I remembered the movie. I was like, that does sound like a Tyler Perry movie. Oh wait,
it is tougher. No, I'm just saying because it's like here's the thing, like Derek, all he does when he goes there is hang out, like dance with his office crew, talk to some of the people he talks to every single day, and if outside of the stuff that happens with Lisa, he would have went home. You do that every day in the daytime.
yeah, but you get
Why
to
are
drink
you
now.
at a party with tons of people who, first of all, are trying to ruin your marriage, okay? Because Jerry O'Connell, I mean, granted, listen, there are guys who have guy friends who are just talking smack. They don't really want you to cheat on your wife, but they constantly are like, come on, man, let's go hang out. Let's go to the strip club, whatever. They'll egg you on. But really, like when the chips are down, especially if they know your wife, like they're friends with your wife, because maybe their wife is friends with your wife, or they've known you for a long time, whatever. They don't really want you to cheat on your spouse. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, so I think that's what they were going for. But the thing is, we don't hang out enough time with this man to not feel like he's just constantly trying to get him in trouble.
Jerry O'Connell, I love in every movie I've seen him in. He's a dick.
For real, he
He's
plays
just
that
an
role very
asshole.
well.
Although I've read about fans meeting him, and they're like, he's the nicest guy ever. He's so sweet.
Yeah, he seems
Like,
nice.
yeah, he's always willing to take a picture, sign an autograph. He's always like happy to do so. And I will always remember Jerry O'Connell as the guy from Sliders.
See, that's yours. Me, it's Kangaroo Jack, a terrible movie.
Yes,
I'll
Oh my
maybe
God.
review one day, but
Kangaroo
every time I see him, that's like the
We-
movie I think of.
We should definitely review Kangaroo Jack one day.
We had that movie on DVD. Me and my sister watched the shit out of that movie.
Kangaroo Kangaroo Jack was so misleading. There was supposed to be a cool, dope kangaroo talking to you all the time.
For real. That was in the marketing material. All the marketing material was around that talking kangaroo, and he does not say a word for majority of the movie.
Kicks Jerry O'Connell's ass.
He also looks so much younger in this movie. Like, it looks like he filmed this movie in like 2005, and everybody else filmed this movie in 2008. I don't know why, but it just didn't add up for me.
But it's just like, because I'm because I'm not gonna lie, I was like, this feels like Mad Men, but in the modern day. As I was watching it, because what's it called? Like, Lisa walks by and they're like, "Hey, I've never seen those pair of legs before," and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it is like 9 a.m. in the morning, Frank. I don't have time for this bullshit. Are you serious?
And also, the receptionist still kicking it with Lisa once she left and all that drama.
I was going to mention that earlier, that I think the gay representation in this movie is piss poor. And coming off of our Pride review, especially, I was like, God damn. Because if you go off of this movie, gay people, first of all, can't hold water, let alone information. And secondly, they are not to be trusted because this man gives her all of this man's information, all of it. And that's only because he be eavesdropping on his calls, his private phone calls. And then after he has been told explicitly from his boss, or at the very least from his company, don't you talk to this woman, don't you engage with this woman. She is not work here, she is not affiliated here. Don't you have anything to say to this woman? He not only drops information, granted a little accidentally, he didn't mean to tell her that he was going on a trip and where him and his wife are going to be and all that stuff. So I'll give him credit there. But he wanted to have a full conversation with her, because when she tries to hang up, he's like, no, wait, but you just called. I'm like, what part of you are not supposed to talk to this woman do you not understand? Cease all contact.
No, they need somebody to instigate more stuff. What do you guys think about the final scene, though? That's what I want. Why would Sharon forget the alarm code after everything literally being stalked for months?
Because it'd be one thing if she was looking for her purse, so it slipped her mind because she had to look for it.
But she just walked in for
deactivated it 2 seconds ago. So there's no way she would forget. Okay, now I got to turn back on the alarm.
And after everything, with your child, you're telling me I forgot to activate it when there is literally a person who has already broken into your home. And then she's in my house again? Yeah, stole your baby. No, she touched your child.
Listen, when my car got stolen from my old apartment complex, for literally a month, I would in the middle of the night go down to my garage and make sure that my car was still there. Because of the trauma, because I was like, I can't afford to lose my car again. I gotta make sure it's there. Just for the peace of mind, even though I know it is more than likely, but it's just regardless, I still gotta go down there. I gotta check.
No, same with my car broken into. Now I don't leave my garage opener. Used to just leave it in a car. I don't leave that in there anymore. There were certain things I was like, if they're gone, they're gone. But now I'm like, okay, I'm just taking everything with me.
Mm-hmm. There's no way she would have forgot that damn alarm.
Okay, yeah, I was like, felt really unrealistic after everything she made such a big fuss too about protecting her home. Nope.
Yeah.
The fight made sense though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like this is kind of in its own way an iconic fight scene. I feel like this fight scene is referenced,
because she literally drags her ass down the hallway. I don't even know where she was going with her. She just grabbed her ankles. She's like, "You're coming with me."
It's just,
where was she taking her?
I mean, to be fair, this fight did win the 2010 MTV Movie Award for Best Fight.
Oh, wow. I could absolutely see that. But I just want to know where she was trying to drag her to. It felt like a lot of dragging going nowhere.
A lot of dragons.
My thing is, I hate that this movie is defined by this fight, though, because I remember even when the trailer came out for this movie, and they were oh, there's this cool fight, and I'm like, 2/3 of the movie, Beyonce's not even really
in it.
important until like the last act. Up until that point, she's just a loving wife at home. So it's just like it's weird that but of course, you know, it's Beyonce. She was big at the time. I mean, she's still big now, but you know, 2000s especially.
She was like, big, but
she's like
she fell off now.
Fizzled
no, but it's like now it's like we know Beyonce is like this legend, but she like kind of like she puts out music when she has music finished, and you know, like stuff like that. Like she takes her time a lot more. Back then, Beyonce was everywhere, every commercial, every like putting out album after album after album, single after single, doing tons of features. Like she was the new like pop / R&B woman trying to get to everywhere and anywhere to get her face out there.
What?
You know, like everybody does when they're trying to like get on and pop it. But she like, and so of course this movie marketed itself a lot on Beyonce being in the movie.
Well, it says that on the Wikipedia page, it says Idris Elba and Zoe Saldana were initially Idris Elba was obviously in the movie, but Zoe Saldana was the initial choice for the role of Sharon, and Will Packer stated that they both brought the right amount of depth and sex appeal to the film. Will Packer showed the film script to Beyonce's talent agent, who suggested that Beyonce play the role of Sharon. The producers immediately fell in love with the idea. Once she suggested Beyonce, nobody else could play the role. Packer said that Beyonce became interested in working on Obsessed because the film was not focused on the music industry, and that it was the first time she played a non-singer.
Yeah.
She was also looking for that challenge and welcomed this opportunity. Beyonce stated that she found it challenging to concentrate purely on the emotion and the psychology of the relationship. Beyonce had never taken part in a fight scene, but she was able to learn how to perform the scenes quickly because they were similar to dance choreography, which she was familiar. Obsessed was filmed in the summer of 2008, and the final fight scene between Sharon and Lisa was shot over 1 week. That fight scene took a week to film.
I mean, that's
like
cool.
It didn't need to be a week,
I get it. I get why Beyonce would want to do a role like this because it's true. I think up until that point, she had done Dreamgirls, right? And then
Dreamgirls, Austin Powers,
and then Austin Powers, but then also did Cadillac. Was it Cadillac Records? Is that the movie she was in?
Yeah, I think. Was that before or after? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like she had always been like playing singers. People only hired her for her singing ability for a lot of her roles, and this was the first one where it was like, oh, Beyonce's trying to act, like for real. Okay.
Cadillac Records was literally 2008, the year before.
Okay, yeah. So it's like that makes sense. I mean, here's the thing. Well, I don't think I think Zoe Saldana probably would have done a better job, arguably. I do think Beyonce, though, does a good enough job. She's not awful in this movie or anything like that. It's just a lot of her lines just don't sound as, like, threatening as they should. It sounds like just to me, it's the equivalent of every black woman who talks a lot of smack.
That's what it was. It just sounded like she's talking a lot of smack.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like because she's like, I'll show you crazy. I'm like, this reminds me a lot of when Cassie from Euphoria was also talking about how she's crazier than Maddie, and I'm like, good for you. Go ahead and sit down. Have a Capri Sun on me. You're so cute. Because you are definitely not crazier than her. And it's the same thing here where I'm like, Beyonce, your character of Sharon might be a black woman who is willing to throw some hands, but you are not crazier than this woman who literally drugged your husband and has the power to hack computers. Yeah, literally will kill herself in order to get a man's attention. You aren't on that level of crazy, okay? And that's a good thing. You should never want to be. You also want to know how I know that she ain't about that life like that? She ain't that crazy? Because this woman didn't immediately, after Ali Larter tried to run away, go into her bedroom, take off them heels, put on some tennis shoes, and put some Vaseline on her cheeks. That's how you know a black woman is about that life. Because if you don't get the Vaseline and the sneakers, you ain't really trying to fight for race.
No. This is a higher class woman, though. We wore
And
boots.
and they were boots, so they would have been hard. She would have lost time. They would have been harder to
It
take
wouldn't have
off.
mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. She would have been like, I don't give a damn. I'll fight you barefoot if I have to. I want to make sure I got good ground.
Which Lisa did. She fought barefoot.
But it's just
And
like,
lost.
I mean, that's true. Although it's, I like, cause I mean, it's very
fight
sweet
better
that
barefoot.
she did try to save Lisa in the end. You know, she has a good heart. So she was like, I'm not going to let you die. I just want to beat
She's
your ass.
the reason she went through the hole.
That's what's funny to me because I'm like, you tried to kill her.
She literally,
I don't know why you changed your mind.
saw a way to kill her, and then at the last minute, she chickened out. That wasn't a sweet thing. She chickened out. She wussed out.
I mean, listen, it's like that's why when she called Derek, like Lisa calls Derek, then Sharon gets the phone. She's like, she just is like, I'll call you back or whatever she says, and then she just throws the phone down. And I feel like in that moment when he's running over, you think he's there because he's trying to protect Sharon. I'm like, no, he's going there because he's like, he calls the police. He's like, no, I need to report a murder. No, my wife's the one committing the murder. You don't understand. And Lisa ain't finna make it. And I need to get home. Call the police. Bring everybody. Bring the military. It's the only way you're gonna stop her.
Self-defense, though.
Yeah.
I mean, true. No, she's not gonna go to jail. This is clearly self-defense. All right. Like
Right.
the second Allie Larder smashed a lamp and tried to stab her spear style, this is self-defense. It's like she's trying to murder me. All I did was push her. Okay, it doesn't even compare. Although, like, here's another question for you. Do we think that Detective Reese, was a good
I was
detective?
about to get on her. I was about to get on her next because she made me so mad. She made me so mad
because she so had her mind made up before she even, like, you're a detective. You're supposed to be the most
ask questions. She
Right.
asked no questions to Idris Elba. She already had her mind made up, like you said.
Now, to be fair, though, it is his fault that escalated the way it did. Because the first question she did ask him the second she saw that his wife was there was, do you maybe want to talk in private? And he was like, no, we could just talk. I'm like, that's a mistake. You know full well you haven't told your wife nothing. In fact, the face he makes when she shows up at the hospital is the face of like, who the hell called you? Who told you I was
how
here?
did she find that again?
Because Ben tells her.
Oh, that's right.
That he's at the
Because
hospital.
I was like, for a second, I'm like, how did he track her? Or how did she track him?
That's that look when your wife comes in and you were not expected to see her today. You're like, ah, hey, big head, what's going on? Hey, sugar lump. Hey, honey lamb, how you doing? You
But
doing
those
good?
nicknames, I can see why she left him, even without the stalker woman.
It's just because you would just be like, you would be that would be the definition of true surprise.
Also, if any man ever called me sugar lump, I'm just smacking him, straight up smacking him. I don't agree with domestic violence. You should never hit anybody. But if I'm getting called sugar lump, you're getting hit.
But the fact that like that detective is so like clearly biased, you know what I mean? And I don't know if if that character is intentionally supposed to be a woman, or if it just so happens they just hire
a white woman.
Female. Yeah, if they just happen to hire a female actress for the role. Either way, the fact that it is a woman is what makes it even worse because it's like, oh, so you just can't do your job. It's like because you didn't try to investigate or nothing. All you did was hear her say, especially when like she hands him the note, talk about she was coherent enough to do this after like to write the one name after she woke up from her coma, and it's his name with his phone number. And Sharon gets all mad, and I'm like, you act like this woman was not his receptionist for like a week. You know what information she would most definitely have without even having to think about it? His name and his phone number.
I think it was just that's what she gave. But also, was that phone number missing a few numbers? Or was that just
no?
me?
It was a whole number.
It was a whole number. I swear to God, I thought it was
555-0145. That's a whole number.
I think I might have dyslexia, guys. I swear.
Don't ask me how I remember. I just do.
You clearly do. I didn't even see the whole numbers.
But it's just like Like that detective was, and then on top of that, then she goes to investigate. And granted, they try to make her seem, what you call, like they try to make her seem a little more like
Objective.
Objective about it when she goes to see him at his office, and she's like, it doesn't matter if like I believe it, it matters that she believes it. But I'm like, yeah, but the problem is you're not investigating more thoroughly because you don't believe me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because if you did, and that's, I think that if I have to say a negative about this movie, we don't learn anything about Lisa, like outside of the stuff that she does around
like
Derek.
her motives and stuff.
Yeah. Like, I mean, granted, I don't even need to know why she's attracted to Derek or anything like that. Cause you know, all these movies kind of like Fatal Attraction is the same way, where we don't know why she, like, outside of like they slept together and then he rejects her later. But like, we don't know why they get together. Maybe she likes him or something, or why she's so obsessed with this one guy. It's that's the name of this erotic thriller type thing. So I'm with that. What I'm not with though is I'm like, we don't get an explanation of, first of all, why, if she's this crazy, has she done this before? Is there a pattern of this? Because if not, why is this the time this guy all of a sudden the reason she's now gone completely insane? Because nothing we've seen of their relationship would lead us to believe that she's obsessive to this degree. If this is her first time being like this, she had to have already been like this and just got away with it until now, or something like that. And normally in a movie like this, that is the case because we get to learn their backstory. But in this case, we don't learn anything about her.
I feel like if this movie was made today, there would be some sort of twist, like she's actually a secret agent, or like that's
a big twist. Jesus, she's MI6 or something, like the FBI.
She went crazy. They put her on
actually
patrol work.
Yo, they did do that movie. I think it starred Michael Ealy, and I know it was Hilary Swank was in it. And
I could see Hilary Swank in that movie.
Yeah, where she's like it's a Fatal Attraction-esque movie, but the twist is that the woman who's attracted to him is also a cop, so she can get away with a lot of the stuff she does because she's a police officer.
Wait, did this come out a couple? This came out a couple of years ago, right? I think me and my parents watched this.
Yeah.
Hilary.
Oh, what is that movie? Dang it!
I like how we all were like, all right, let's see who can get to it first.
It has like a simple title, I think.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Fatal.
Find it first.
I think that's what it is.
No,
yeah,
Fatal. Fatal. Yes.
Yeah. And it is Michael Ealy. I can't believe I remembered that. Memory's unlocked. Because I didn't watch this movie. I just remember the trailer coming out.
Never saw it.
I watched it.
Yes, Hilary Swank played a lot of detectives.
It was a fun watch.
I think so. I know she's played a lot of serious roles that are detective adjacent. So maybe. Not sure.
She played in a show all the way.
But yeah, that's like the main thing I think that is the detriment to this film is you don't know anything about Lisa. So it's easy for us to say like, oh, this cop didn't investigate, but it's like, yeah, because they don't even bother to have this detective do anything. Like because it'd be one thing if we see her investigate, find out more about Lisa, see if she's maybe lying, because that's what a detective would do. It's like, okay, she says she's been with this man. He says they've never been together. The first thing any real detective would do is be like, okay, well, let's investigate because something's afoot. Like they have two completely different stories, and it's not, and based off his body language, how he's interacting, the fact that she saw him with his wife. I mean, you could maybe think that he's just trying to cover his ass because he really had an affair. But even still, maybe he didn't. Maybe he's telling the truth and she's lying. We don't know. And an average detective, male or female, doesn't matter the gender, would investigate and find out if this person maybe has a history of mental illness, maybe has been like committed before or done something similar to this before, has had suicidal thoughts. Maybe there's another boyfriend she had from a previous time, or another stalker, or a person she stalked before. There would be a record of some kind to maybe back up that this woman is not mentally stable.
It also just doesn't help that the wife comes in clearly not knowing anything. So that makes it look even more suspicious. And the fact that the wife is reacting the way she is like, okay, clearly this man was hiding something.
Well, to the points you both are making right now, it says on the Wikipedia article as well. It says this film was panned by critics who criticized the absence of an explanation for Lisa's obsession with Derek, failure to explore the potential theme of interracial conflict between Lisa and the Charles family, and the fact that Derek did not yield to Lisa's seduction.
I'm actually okay with him not yielding. I think it
Yeah.
makes it more interesting because every other movie that wasn't this
He would have
movie,
done.
he would have
Yeah.
done that. Like it's kind of a subversion of the trope that actually the guy, unlike in most of these movies, like Fatal Attraction and like Basic Instinct and other erotic thrillers, he literally is not guilty. The only thing he's guilty of is maybe being a little too friendly. That's it. He never sleeps with her, or at least not intentionally, because she does drug him. And while we never see her necessarily like sexually assault him, the implication is there.
Yeah, it's heavily implied.
So it's like, so he never intentionally, like, or coherently, and he never consensually has sex with this woman.
Well, it's
And-
also sexual assault when she flashes him. That was technically
Right,
Yeah, she assaults him many times.
So it's like and every time he tells her no. So it's like, I think that's an interesting subversion, but I do agree they don't really like go deeper than that. Granted though, I think it's a little like pigeonholedy to be like, and they didn't explore the interracial relationship. I'm like, I don't think you need to.
It was.
I mean, it's interesting, but you don't need to always make like we always say in regards to movies with people of color. Everything doesn't always have to be about race. It's like,
in my mind,
I mean?
I just subconsciously like. I didn't have to have it like spelled out for me. I went there with thinking about like how the detective automatically took the white woman's side versus hearing out the black man.
Yeah.
And also, there was another one, but I literally just forgot it right now. The scene where she visits him when he's at that hotel conference, and
he controls
they're
his
in the
temper
lobby
because she's white.
Well, that and the fact that he's like at some point when like nobody's looking, he's like grabbing her by the arm and like kind of handling her a little bit. I'm like, ooh, in this day and age, if somebody saw you doing that, they would
Especially
immediately think that
2009.
yes,
Like,
they would
Yeah.
immediately think that she was in danger.
Yeah.
So
Especially
in
a
my
big
mind,
black dude too. It's not like he's
right,
small.
right.
Right.
So in my mind, I kind of just like implied it myself. I didn't have to have it like spelled out for me, you know?
And I appreciate the nuance of this movie. Like, they're subtle and they're not as explored as I wish they would be, but I do appreciate like that Sharon's not mad. Like, even if she does or doesn't believe that he's sleeping with her, it doesn't matter. That's not really the issue for her. The issue for her is, I asked you, like, first you didn't tell me. That's one issue. Flat out. Number two, this is why I have requested you not have a female assistant. Like, so already, and then you didn't like, and you ignored me when I was saying it might have been a potential problem, because you were like, oh, she's pretty plain. Oh, I only got eyes for you. You trying to be all cool about it, but it's like, nah. She, as a woman, she knows how other women think. She's like, first of all, you handsome. Second off, you are successful. Thirdly, like you're a swagged out guy. You are a little flirtatious. Women are attracted to you. I don't want you working with another female assistant. You can call that controlling, whatever the case may be, but as out of respect for his wife, and to his credit, out of respect for his wife, he doesn't have a female assistant. He has what's his name? James, is his name James? What's his name? Damn it. Patrick. He has Patrick as an assistant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so that's the second thing. Third thing, I explicitly asked you, even if the first two things, we can maybe let those go, right? I explicitly asked you, did anything happen at the party? And you looked me in my eyes and looked me dead in my face and said no. and lied to me. That's the issue. That's the problem more than anything else. So how am I supposed to believe anything else you have to say when you chose? That's a choice. It'd be one thing if it's like, okay, well, you thought you could handle it, so that's why you didn't share whatever. You thought it wasn't a big deal, so that's why you let her be your assistant, your temp assistant, because you figured it was temporary anyway. It's not a big deal. You chose to lie to her when she actually gave you the chance to explain yourself. That was your perfect golden opportunity to say something's going on, something's up, because now she's explicitly asking for information. And you still chose to not only withhold the truth, but to lie to her and say nothing happened. And I appreciate that that's really what the argument's about. That's why they don't just get a divorce, or she's not like, you're sleeping with her. She's like, no, you lied to me. Multiple chances to come clean, and you lied to me. That's my issue. And that's
cool. The
like
issue with him. He just makes one bad choice after another. It's just one bad choice after another, and that's why it's like kind of his fault too. There's multiple things you could have done. HR doesn't do shit, but they're good to have a paper trail with.
That's what I said too. I was like, were you allergic to paperwork or something? You can't just still file a report.
HR won't do shit, but you can be like, I just want it on record.
Right.
He had a chance to be honest with his wife, failed that. He had a chance to be honest with his job, which, would have been good as well.
It would have been embarrassing. Yeah, definitely gossip would have gotten out. But at least you could have been like, yeah, but y'all know the deal. I'm serious about me and my wife, okay? I don't care who you are. I'm telling HR.
Also, like during that confrontation where, it was implied something happened when he got spiked at the conference, you could have just been like, hey, this crazy lady, all this stuff. Or you could have, maybe you still lied to her, but beef up your security. You did nothing to protect your family from a woman you already know is clearly crazy, and then are like shocked she went crazier as her issue has been continuously escalating, and being like, what? She did more? Or like at least tell your babysitter, like, hey, like, watch out for this woman. Like, don't let anybody but my wife and me into the home when you're alone with our son. Also, I feel like that should be just a general rule with babysitters that you tell them, only me and my wife are allowed alone with our child when you are here.
Yeah, and the babysitter had, even if she did let her into the house, which was dumb, she had multiple chances to, see if something was up by one taking that phone when she offered it. How did she know that the babysitter would not take the phone? Was there
because she knew she was a teenager, and as a teenager, teenagers are a little like, they get nervous when other adults are like essentially confront them, like challenge them, because that's what that was. She was challenging her, like, go ahead, take the phone, because she didn't want to, like, in her mind, I'm gonna get in trouble with my boss if like she is supposed to be here. And it's like, yeah, but listen, kid, think it through.
She could have been testing her, like, it could have been a test. And if you're gonna fail at that part, then go upstairs with her to watch while she interacts
at the
with
very least. Don't like get back on your phone. In fact, she left. Even she didn't even watch her leave. She's leaving while her back is completely turned, looking at her phone, TV on, can barely even hear her across the room.
This also shows how she's not checking on the kid later too, because there's like let's say parents don't come home for another hour span. You do not check up that child at all. Make sure they're
still good. She didn't even check after she left just to see what was going on. She just sat like she left, and that babysitter at no point after she left went to go even check if the child was okay.
Exactly.
Nothing. So she was fired. Like the next day.
Right, literally. No, right then and there she was fired.
That's true. Never again.
Well, I say the next day because they were more concerned about finding their son.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't worried about but he gave her funky ass $50 or however much they paid her for that night, and then he was like, yeah, don't come back.
And you probably shouldn't maybe sit anybody else's kid either.
And he gonna tell the whole neighborhood that you trash at babysitting. So just know that you ain't gonna have no more business in this neighborhood. You're gonna have to go to the cul-de-sac down the street.
Next one over. If I were her, I was like, fair enough. I'm gonna leave now.
But it's just, I will say, that's the only thing holding this movie back is just that, like, you needed more about Lisa, and like that, because I won't agree that like the race thing was important, and I love all the nuance choices they make in the script for the most part. It's that thing. That's the only thing. I wanted to know more about Lisa, because even like her sister comes up, right? And the detective's like, yeah, her sister came and picked her up. I'm like, that would have been a perfect scene to see. Now, granted, she doesn't have to be an important character, but just to have like, to know like, okay, is her, like, first of all, if that's even true, because for all we know, we don't know who's in Lisa's employ. She might have like someone else, out here who could who she just like has as like her little helper. But if it is her sister, maybe her sister maybe her sister knows that this pattern, she's like, oh my God, who are you obsessing about now? All right, leave this man alone. We've been here before. Or maybe she eggs her on. Maybe she's like, oh, you have a new man? Oh, that's great. We'll just hang in San Francisco for a little while and we'll bring you right back. It'll be no big deal. Like, I don't know. But something that would have been interesting to see some of like Lisa's home life. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe if this boyfriend that she supposedly broke up with, like, finds out about what's going on, and or Derek just goes on his own investigation and finds out who he's supposed to date. And the boyfriend's like, first of all, we never dated. And second, she just stopped coming around. So I was just like, thank God. She's doing this to you? Damn. That's a damn shame. It's gonna be rough for you, bro.
Gonna get worse.
Can you imagine if it was another black guy who's just like, he's like, nah, bro, she got a thing for the brothers, man. Did she do the papers thing to you too? What do you mean the papers thing? You know, she drops her papers and pretends like she dropped it so she can see if you gonna help her pick it up. She did that to me. That's how it started. And then it was just downhill from there. I'm still trying to make it up to my girl right now. His girl be played by Tiffany Haddish. Add some comedy in there.
Obsession 2, Lisa's backstory.
I would love an Obsessed 2, and it's the sister coming to get revenge.
That would be great.
Yeah.
for her dead sister.
But it's just like, that's the only thing that really holds this movie back. Like, past that.
The Wikipedia says, like I mentioned, the climactic fight scene between Beyonce and Larder was widely praised. And like Jerome, you mentioned, winning the MTV Award for Best Fight.
Although this does sit at a 19% on the Rotten Tomatoes score out of 91 reviews. That's the accumulated score.
It might have been the
What's the audience score though?
Let me look it up. Let me see.
But despite like the critical reception, it was a success at the box office.
Well, the audience score is 46% as well, so it's not great.
Okay. It did do well at the box office. It's $73 million on a $20 million budget.
Of course, Beyonce's in it. I'm just saying, like, listen, like that's half the reason me and my family went when we saw this movie, is because Beyonce was in it. Although I will say, and this is no shade, I'm sorry, she's a very beautiful woman. She is, so I won't take that away from her. She's got the model body and everything, but like Ali Larder, when she shows up in that car and then she flashes him with that lingerie, the whole time I was thinking like, damn, that's a 2-for-1 special on no body right there, just flat all the way down the board on both sides. And she out here dancing, she grinding up on him. I'm like, bitch, you trying to start a fire with that flat ass? You got trying to start sparks up here? What's wrong with you?
So Jonathan, where can we find you? Oh, he just left.
He just left. I just say I've never thought Ali Larder was that hot, to be quite honest. Great actress. She's an amazing actress.
Gibson's gonna sub in for me for the rest of the
Oh my goodness.
She's an amazing actress, so I won't take that from her. And
I'm tapped out. I'm looking at hair dye now.
I'm sure there's some other women. She is like other men and women. She's like the most gorgeous person in the world. Me personally, though, I was just like, I mean, when I got Beyonce at home, you know what I'm saying? You don't even come close, girl. Your hair might look all nice and all that. You look nice. You got your makeup done real nice, but I'm sorry, you can't compete. You don't even come close. You're not even at the starting line to compete. with what I got at home. Okay. No, I know I ain't into you. No, I don't want none of what you got. All right. Nope.
I'm gonna put Jerome. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put Gibson in lingerie, and he's gonna recreate that scene.
That's what we should do next time we come down to LA. Recreate Obsession with Gibson as Lisa.
I'm just saying, because she flashes him like she got all that in the bag of chips. Like, bow. What do you think of this? And he's just looking. I'm sure he's looking at her like, that's it, huh? All right, yeah, well, get out my car. You just wasted. Even if I wanted a piece, you just out here wasting my time. Get out the car.
Gibson even melt. Look at him. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna slide out of you right here. Look at that little back of his neck and everything.
Listen, I mean, what makes this podcast fun is sometimes we just like to talk shit. Okay, we don't actually mean anything we say up here. It's all jokes.
Do you? Is that true? You're real. I felt your conviction on that.
I felt the passion.
Why is Gibson melting?
I don't know. He's like,
because he wants to be on the floor. He's like, how dare you? You're making me be a part of this podcast right now.
He's just like,
he's all slumped over.
You're wearing like boneless.
And he's staying there too. He's not moving at all.
He's like, I'm good. I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed.
He's like, nah, fam.
Lift your head up. My goodness.
He's like, no, you lift your head up.
He's tired. He wants to sleep.
Oh, Bubba.
Anyway.
So that's Obsessed for you. Tell us what you think.
Obsessed.
If you have seen Obsessed, if you haven't seen Obsessed, if you love it or don't love it, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're in the middle a little bit, tell us what you think down below in the comment section on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on the audio streaming platforms, hey, send us an email or something, or go on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe there, and comment below and all that good stuff, because we'd love to hear what you have to say. But before we go, as we do with every episode, socials. Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me at Alex Sindoti on Instagram and on TikTok, and the First Ones to Die TikTok as well, where I post little clips of episodes we have done, things we are possibly going to watch, and then stuff that I do when I'm bored, which is a little commentary, and just, also when I've been smoking. One I just recently watched, 1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West with Seth MacFarlane. There's a moment Seth MacFarlane does like a squat he goes like, oh, to prove a point. This man squats down, a perfect form. I was dying for that because I was like, there was no reason to like show your skills right there. Clearly, he's doing that on a daily basis. That was a perfect form there. But what about you, Jonathan? Where are we finding you and Gibson?
You can find us at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please. Hopefully next time he's a lot less jello. You can also find us at The First Ones to Die. You can email us, thefirstones2die@gmail.com. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast listening channel, network, platform, please, we would really appreciate if you gave us a 5-star rating and review. And if you're watching us on YouTube and looking at our beautiful faces, please give us a like and subscribe. And comment below. Let us know. Have you seen Obsessed? Have you watched it recently? Yeah. What's your favorite Obsessed line? What's your favorite Beyonce one-liner in this movie? Let us know.
Yep. And you can find me at Not Jerome Rhett on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's just like, man, and fuck Jerome. We're just going to move on.
I wasn't paying attention at first. I thought you had already said it.
You can find me at Not Jerome Rhett on Instagram, and thinking of the YouTube channel as well. If you're already there, please do subscribe, like, favorite, share, all the things. You already know what to do. But if you're not subscribed, trust me, you're going to want to, because there's tons of great content that goes exclusively on the YouTube channel for our podcast, stuff like gaming videos, mini reviews, book reviews, vlogs, all types of stuff. And we're uploading new stuff every now and again. So if you want to know when it's coming out, there's only one way to do that, and that's to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing, because all this podcast goodness is just waiting right there for you. So, you know, tune on in. Tune in next week for something we don't know yet, but we will as soon as you do, and that's going to be next week. But until then, have a good night, good morning, good evening, whenever you're listening to this, and we will catch you for the next one. Bye.
Bye. If we were working in the real world.
Hey. I want to make something very clear. I would sacrifice. I love you both, but I would sacrifice you both in a heartbeat for cheddar.
That's fair.
Go on over to the YouTube channel at The First Ones to Die to see all the fun stuff we got going on here, like mini reviews, book reviews, gaming videos, vlogs, all types of stuff.
Please follow us at The First Ones to Die everywhere. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe.